Need help with your homework? David from Auburn writes, Hank, I've got this big old set of concrete stairs in my front yard that I'd love to replace with a new set. How can I break up this old one? Well, Dave, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can use feathers and wedges, you can use expanding non-demolition cements, or you can use the old New England way of drilling a hole and letting the water freeze it. But either way you choose, there are ways to get rid of those old concrete steps and large rocks in your backyard. So one of your problems around the house that you want to get cleaned up is you've got this old large stone that's been sitting in the middle of the yard. You mow around it, you can't figure out what to do with it. Or you want to put in a new set of steps, and you've got this old set of poured concrete steps, and how do I get rid of it? Well, I'm going to show you how you can break stone or concrete. And actually, there's 3 methods that are very popular here in New England. The oldest method is what the farmers did back in the 1700s. They would take an old hammer and chisel, and they would drill holes down into the stone. They'd fill them full of water, and then they'd come back in the springtime, and when that water expanded into ice, it cracked the stone. Now that's if you've got half a year and you're all set. That's the old method. The newest method is they've got this, what they call non-exploding cement. I do the same thing. I drill my holes, get them down into the stone, mix this up, pour it down into the holes, and believe it or not, this actually generates enough strength. It'll break that concrete, break that stone. But it takes about 48 hours. So I've got my long way, I've got my short, my not so long way. I'm going to show you how we're going to break stone the way they did it in the 1820s. And they use it using a product called feathers and wedges. Here's my 2 feathers, and here's my little wedge. Simple enough, isn't it? You've seen it a lot on front walks or old stones. It's those little marks that you see atop the crust of granite. Well, what they would do is they would drill holes into their granite, set their feathers and wedges, and just tap, tap, tap. Now, you can break stone in a lot of different ways. You can also use it on concrete. We're going to try it on this cobblestone, granite cobblestone that I've got here. So I'm going to drill my holes, and I'm going to show you how to use feathers and wedges. Of course, I always put my safety glasses on, and I've got my hearing protection, and I happen to have a radio on my hearing protection because when I'm working with stone, I love to rock and roll. All right, so we've got our holes drilled. We're now going to put our feathers and wedges in. I will put my safety glasses back on. So I take my feathers, which is the 2 pieces with the tails on the top. That's where the feather part comes. Put those in the hole and drop my wedge down in between them. Now you'll notice when I did do the holes, okay, I was using a hammer drill as opposed to a regular rotary drill. What a hammer drill does is at the same time that it's going round and round, it's also going up and down. And that's what helps to cut through the granite. And of course I did have a stone bit on the end of it. Again, I used my 2 outside holes. I got my empty one inside, and now I'm going to slowly start to tap. There it goes. And that's how you split a stone.